Oh, there we go. Hey, um, I'm a little at a loss for words for this one. Um, I thought I'd get stuff out. It's talking. This is supposed to be me talking by just getting my thoughts out. You know, I don't do this for therapy. I don't do this to complain. I do it just to get my thoughts out because it's healthy for you, and I don't ever really do it if it's not in writing. As you can tell by my constant fidgeting, I'm really not used to it, to speaking it, but it's healthy for you. I write a lot, almost every day. That I write in a journal. I write several journals really. I write things to get things out, and it helps with me. I'm not wearing that. It helps with me a lot to write to get things out, and that's how I express myself a lot of the time. I don't do it with my voice very much. Okay, this is gonna sound stupid. I'm just prefacing that, especially since I don't get a lot of my feelings and my thoughts out vocally. It takes me a second to wrap my head around things when I'm trying to say it. I just That's stupid. I just recently finished rewatching my favorite show. I don't want to say what it is because it's cringe, but it's an anime, and I first found this anime pretty much the first anime I ever actually like sat down and really watched and enjoyed. That's the better word, enjoyed, because I didn't care for anime before this one. It's, it's called Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. It's good, but years ago, I don't remember the year it was. It was my junior year, and I'm almost 19 now. So I was very depressed, and from what I know, um, from when I went to therapy during that time, I was like, what's the way you put it, genetically depressed. Because it runs in my family. Um, so I was able to be fixed. Not fixed, that's a horrible word to use. Helped with medicine. And, it's one of the things I'm eternally grateful for that. Having that medicine was incredible and it was like life changing. Because how I view my life is in chunks. 3 chunks. There's the childhood chunk. I'm trying to camera. The childhood chunk over here that looks very poor. Where, how do you describe it? You can also see the straw here. Let me see if I can move stuff around. I didn't plan this. The childhood chunk is something everybody has, where you're a child and you don't have a sense of responsibility or it's really a sense of the world. You're kind of just here. You're just a child, existing, playing tag and stuff. It was the fucking best. I was a child all the way until the start of 8th grade. All the way through middle school almost. That 7th grade and just the very beginning of 8th grade. I was able to stay as a child. I didn't care about anything except, my family, Xbox, and playing tag at fucking recess. So there's that. And then the second chunk of my life was, well, frankly, when a girl met me. I didn't even meet her, she met me. And I had my first, like, real relationship. And it fucking rocked my world because this child who doesn't know anything and doesn't deal with anything, the strongest emotion I ever felt was winning a round of Halo that I didn't think I was going to win, and I was excited. Literally, that is the strongest emotion that I felt. I met a girl who really liked me and experienced love like that. It's crazy. Crazy to think back on because my entire life changed then. I was experiencing such a small part of my life that I was just expanded immediately to all these emotions and things I didn't understand, and it was incredible at the time. But one of the things I never kept, that I never looked at in depth until maybe end of sophomore year, is that in 7th grade, I didn't realize what it was, so I didn't ever keep track of it. I was depressed. But not enough for it to be agonizing, just enough to notice, and I was kind of just like, I don't know. Ignore it. I don't understand it. And I went on that way for a while. And then end of 8th grade and onward, it kind of just spiraled and got worse and worse. And sophomore year was the hardest year of my life at the time. Because I had just little sophomore me, 15, I think. I didn't understand the world. I didn't understand anything. I was just in pain every day for no reason. And it's a struggle to find a reason to live when you feel like you have none. And at the time, that's where I was at. And I had to drop out of wrestling because I just couldn't enjoy anything. I didn't have fun with anything. Like, the only times I were ever alive was like lunch with my friends when I could just ignore everything and laugh for a while. And even then, sometimes it wasn't enough. It was hard. But why I'm telling you this somber story isn't to make you feel bad and feel bad for me. I don't feel bad for me. Everybody goes through rough shit. See, my story ends with a good note because mine was genetic or just puberty. It was something to do with the actual chemicals in my brain. So when I got medicine to give me more of those chemicals or to stimulate the brain to produce more, it actually helped a lot. Got rid of the problem. And when you live like this from before you were ever even aware of the world all the way till sophomore year at that point, I never lived in a world where I was just happy other than being a kid. I spent most of my days just playing Xbox, miserable. If I weren't or wasn't talking to one of my friends on Xbox, I was just in misery. So I was asleep. If I wasn't playing Xbox, I was asleep or, forced to do something with my family because I needed it. So when I took this medicine in July, the sophomore year ended, and then July going into junior year, I still remember. It took maybe a week or two for it to actually, my body to get used to it and start using it. But I can't actually describe to you. I'm smiling because I remember it. I can't describe to you the feeling of euphoria that I had those first 2 weeks and onward. When all you know and all you've lived through every day is just agonizing pain, just being alive. I was just happy. Just happy. I liked being alive. I was able to look at myself and smile. I was able to look in the mirror and just feel good about being alive. I just had life in me. That feeling was the best feeling I've maybe not ever had. Maybe. That feeling was incredible. I don't feel like I'll ever be able to experience something exactly the same because that kind of experience was incredible. I brought this up from that show because the first anime I ever watched and sat down and watched was during that 1 to 2 week process. Started before it, ended during it. And I have it written down in my journal, some like journaling I did during those 1 to 2 weeks. They're incredible to read. But I don't know if it was the timing or if it's actually just the show, but I was able to actually feel something and feel emotion, you know? And watching this show about like little slice of life and these characters of the show based itself around family and the day to day of this family and love for your family and love for a partner. It shows you these experiences of like real things and real things that happen to an extent. The emotions, I mean, of like love and family. I remember it was so prominent in me. I've never felt this way before in my life, still. But I was obsessed with this show because I could feel things again and it was beautiful. I must have rewatched this show 3, 4 times in the span of like maybe 2 months. Which I don't watch a lot of TV, so that's huge for me. And every single time, it was damn beautiful. I'd rewatch it and it just filled me, you know? There's my dog. I'm gonna say hi. It just filled me with joy. And I was so happy. I mean, goosebumps thinking about it. It was incredible, and I love that show to death. It's my favorite show, favorite piece of anything on the fucking internet. So good. And I get it rewatching it, like, the show's not for everybody. It's very anime. You know, I like anime, but, like, certain ones. Anime is very interesting. It's definitely a stretch to find a good one. But damn. I am very thankful for that show. I bring this up because I actually just today finished the other half of it. I started rewatching it yesterday and I just finished it today. I'm a fucking fiend for that show, I guess. It took 2 days to finish the whole thing. God, it is so beautiful. After all these years, I still teared up on the final episode. Jesus Christ. I don't cry at a lot of things. Like, when I care about something a lot, maybe. But I have to care very deeply. I don't cry at, like... If my boss were to yell at me at work, I'd probably just be like, okay. I mean, if I messed up, I might be like, damn, that's rough, that sucks. But I don't cry. It has to be about my family or my friends if I cry. Something I care for very deeply. And yeah, I teared up. I was in tears the first time I finished that show. I was in the hotel room with my family, and everyone was asleep, and my cousin was sleeping next to me, and I was finishing the last episode with my earbuds in. I was in tears, just like trying to hold it in. It was beautiful. The show brings out this side in me that I adore, that I struggle to find myself. You know, with all the things going on in my life right now, all the things that have happened just this year. It's only July. Life has been crazy. It's been very, very crazy. I've been in a constant state of emotional pain, like a hole in your chest, for a while. It's been rough. But I'm older now. I think I'm doing okay. You know? Shit sucks. I can't do anything about it, though. I try the best that I can every day. And that's all I can do. So, for a while, I lost the spark in me, and truly, I can't say if it's back completely. But I'm sure most people understand the feeling of losing that spark of life in you when life gets rough. When you think of your friends, you don't feel the same joy that you did before. When you think of video games, when you think of your favorite food, it all becomes a hobby or something you do to pass time before work, or it becomes just another thing to eat because it's at the house. You lose excitement for life. You lose a lot of things. You stop cooking as much because it's easier just to eat out. It's not like you care about what you're eating anyway. And I tried so hard in this emotionless state. I tried so hard to stimulate it, bring it back. I work out constantly. I try to do things that make me happy, but in the end, hanging out with friends is great. It's the only time I felt happy, but it didn't last. The second I dropped off the last friend, that feeling of just sinking was back. And it was agonizing to remember those good feelings and then think of what you thought of before to make you feel happy and you can't feel anything. It's horrible. It almost makes you feel like a monster at times. You don't do your best even when you're trying your best. It's hard. You end up hating yourself really bad. It sucks. I've been there for a while. I've learned through this pain, because pain teaches. I've learned so much, and I'm very grateful for it. I'm a much different person than I was in January. A lot of pain, a lot of trauma, but I try to focus on the good things. I learned a lot about myself. A lot about myself. A lot of things that helped me live. It changed my whole worldview. I used to be such a jealous person in relationships. Such a jealous person. I'm sure some pieces will still be there, but things are a lot different now. When I think of a hypothetical partner I'm with going out to go hang out with a guy, like one of her friends that I've met or that I've heard of a lot, I don't feel jealous anymore. It's huge for me. I think more about, I hope she has a good time. And if anything, if I feel bad, it's because I want attention myself. I've learned huge things that I had such big issues with before about controlling and a lot of things. It makes me really happy to think about that. And I hope I don't downplay it by saying how happy I feel. because I'm able to feel happy right now. Content, really. And I've been so lost for peace of mind for so long, it feels like now. I've been in constant just pain, confusion. It's been rough. To tell the truth, things aren't just better now. I'll always be optimistic, but things aren't better. I still have a lot of rough shit going on in my life. Things still aren't exactly how I'd want them to be. But, baby steps. But just the fact that I was able to feel something, and not feel so much pain, made me happy. I was able to look at the dog sleeping there earlier and just kind of just smile at her. I guess she's cute. Feels good to smile. Life is so fucking strange and long, and to be fair, I still got a lot of things that I need to work on because of recent stuff. I find myself not trusting people much, if any, at all. I hate living like that. I love giving people trust, or at least more the opportunity to trust. I can't even do that very well right now. I'm just fucking scared of people and everything. I don't entirely trust that anybody will do anything, for me, I suppose. It's like my brain is rewired right now to think that everyone's selfish. And that it's like survival of the fittest, and I need to look after me because nobody else is going to. Not a single other person on this planet is going to look out for me as much as I will. And that's true to an extent. I know in my head that that's not true. I know that there are relationships that are good, and your friends are beautiful, and everything's good. But when you have a really strong trust, when it breaks, it's fucky. It's shitty. It's hard to regain that faith in like humanity as a whole. I don't want to live this way. I'm trying to get better. But as much as I'd like to be a therapist in the future, I'm not one right now. I'm just me. I miss a lot of people. During this time of, hardship, I look back on fucking January, and it's not that I'm not grateful for everything I've learned and everything I've achieved in that time, but I do look back on January and I long for it. I long for January and February and everything before that. I was so happy then. I had so much faith in the world. I was never that good in school before, I had my mind set on all my goals. I was good. I was proud of who I was. And again, I did have a lot of moments of hating myself, but I also had to learn that too. Some people under immense stress, well, some people people have different ways that they deal with things. There's different kinds of people, obviously, and the way they deal with stress, everyone does it differently, but a lot of them are very similar in the grand scheme. Some people, like myself, I've learned, it's hard to talk about because it's almost embarrassing, but under that kind of stress, you know, I'm the kind of person that I like people too much. So I won't put it on anybody else. And please believe me that I'm not boasting when I say any of this, because God, it is not boasting to me. But I love people too much. I won't put anything on anybody else. I won't look after my own needs. I remember when my therapist, like a couple months ago, told me that I need to focus on my needs. I didn't even know what the fuck to do because I didn't have any needs. I just need everybody else to be okay. And I've always been like that. And sure, it sounds nice, right? Somebody who cares for everybody else and, like, well, what a nice guy. But it's rough. It's rough doing that. Eventually, sometimes it brings you to holy shit. My insides just realized that this is sad. Sometimes it brings you down to a level of not trusting anybody when things are broken like that. And for the kind of person that I am, that's hard. I care for people so strongly. People I've never even met, just strangers, because I just want everybody to be okay. I see somebody at work not wanting to do the dishes, so I put in the effort to do my job, and then in my free time, go do the dishes so that they don't have to. And so that feeling of euphoria they feel when they go over and they're like, hey, the dishes are done. It's just what I like doing. And sometimes it pushes me too hard, but for the most part, it's what I like. And it makes me happy. I just want to help people, after all. But it's a lot on me in relationships sometimes. And the kind of person who doesn't put it on anybody else, well, when you're feeling stressed, where does it all go? It goes to yourself. And it's a dangerous thing to have because you gotta have the right person with you to help you through that, or more to understand that when I'm stressed and I do something stupid, it's very hard on me because I just end up spiraling down into hating myself. And when you hate yourself, you're not going to perform your best. And not performing your best makes you hate yourself. It's a rough spiral. I've been in that for a long time without understanding what it was. And now that I do, it helps a lot. It really does. But in those moments, when you're that intimate with somebody else, it's hard to think of it like logical like that. I have a lot of feelings. When I make my dad even have the slightest inkling of being disappointed in me, I put on a straight face while I talk to him. I go to my room and I cry my eyes out. Because I hate letting people down that I care about. And in a relationship, obviously, I care about them way a lot. So it's rough when you mess up constantly. Or even just being made felt like you messed up a lot. I need somebody who understands. An understanding and hopefully logical girl. Because if you're not understanding and things spiral, I go off the deep end. And it's hard to fix things when you're there. Though I try. Never have a bad intent about anything. Things get bad. So in a sense I miss January, but I know I couldn't go back. I didn't know all of this then. I just wonder what it would have. I wonder how it'd be now. I really wonder how it would be. But it's a dangerous thought in of itself. It's an impossible thought. It's just dumb thinking. January is 6 months behind us. I'm not going back to January, and wondering how it would be now, it doesn't help anything. As you can see, I'm still trying to learn this. I think I'm doing a lot better than I was 3 months ago. I know I am. I'll be doing so much better 3 months from now. It's just hard to let go of January. It's hard to let go of those things. Because I loved them so much. And I still do. And all the time I still do. So it's hard to let go of it. Truly, I don't have something optimistic to say about it. Because I don't know what to do. Except live, try my best, work more, focus on school when it happens. Try hang out with friends when I can. Right now I'm working 2 jobs. Fuck, I have work in 30 minutes. It's tiring, but focus on life first, and then I'll figure out when to focus on me eventually. But I guess that is the rough part, so I don't want to repeat what I've been doing. I need to learn how to focus on myself. Because I've learned that relationships aren't your life. Relationships are like a friend. There's somebody there with you, and obviously they're a lot more prominent than a friend. They're a lot more prominent than that. But you live your life still. It's still your life. You just have somebody there too. Another person that you really care for. It's not your life. Your relationship is not your entire life. You are still you. And you have to focus on you. And this other person with you can be there to help when you need it. And there to understand and listen. But they're not there to fix it. That's you. It's a big lesson that I've learned. What that comes back to is focusing on me. And as we know, I'm not good at that. So I'm learning. Focusing on me. You know, I bought shelves. I thought about putting them on that wall right there that my finger's on, so that the camera can see. But I might end up putting them over there. I bought shelves just to make my room look nicer. And in a way, that's huge for me. Because I did that for myself. I don't know. Weird. The world is a strange and scary place. I say that pretty much every time, but it never changes. It'll always be strange and scary. It always helps to get stuff off my chest, to talk about things. It helps me understand the things that I'm feeling. Anyway, I want to wrap this up now, but I want to do one more thing that makes me happy. Hold on, I'll mute it so you can't hear, but all right. Here you guys are. His name's Bean. Here, you want on the desk? Oh no, you don't want on the desk. Okay, okay, I understand. I understand. He's a buddy. You know, Bean Bean. I think he was sleeping in the other room, so he was not happy when I called him. But here he is, Beanie buddy. All right, there you go, Scamp. Oh, this is my other dog too, but I'm not gonna wake her up. Her name's Sam. Okay, just want to say it quietly so she doesn't perk up. Now what the fuck, you honk? Why'd you honk? The fuck? Okay. Well, that's about all that I can talk about. So, thank you for listening, whoever's at this point of the video. And anything else? No, that's all. See ya.